All right, I'm here. And I still did not set up my Clip Studio Paint. Welcome back, everybody. Dirk the Red Panda here with another VN Creation stream. I don't know if I'm going to call these a series or anything like that, like Dirk Draws or Dirk Does a Series. Honestly, it's just me just doing kind of a chill session of just creating stuff. Ocean Avenue, VN making. All right. Yeah, I just need to open up the window and give you guys a little sneak of what I'm doing right now. So, there we go, it's working. Yeah, that's close enough, screw it. We're gonna keep it at this setting. Bam. Um, this is the character I'm currently working on. Her name is Selma, and yeah, I'm not sure how much I want to go into detail with her. She is, I don't know. She's at least part of the friend group. That's all I'm gonna say at this point. Now to introduce the actual main character. This is Evan, and now you can see my freaking timeline here because I had to do an animation face. Um, yeah, so I can give you guys a little preview of that right now. The one that people think is consuming souls. This is static, actually. Oh, no, that is consuming souls. Jesus, there we go. There's the static. So if I play it, I got static eyes. And so basically I had to export it a special way and put it into Ren'Py a special way just to make it work. And you'll see what scene it's for eventually. There's salty ass Evan. And back to neutral Evan. This is our main character. He is as tall as the girl character right now. They're both about 5'9", 5'10". He's about my height. He's a short boy. Alright, so then I'm gonna move on to a friend of his, Marcus. Those two know each other since like childhood. You guys will get to hear that. Well, we get to see it, technically. Kind of from the interaction, you'll be able to tell. Hopefully, if I've good enough writing. So, yep. This is Marcus' sign, but... Jeez. There we go. Trying to figure out how to change his expression. Now he's grinning. So, moving on, this is Kenny. This is one of the newer characters you'll meet, but he is Marcus's friend in a sense. Like, all these characters are Marcus's friend, and Evan's kind of getting to know everybody. So, yeah, this is Kenny. They play together, like play volleyball together. So you got shorter boy and taller boy. Okay, it's at the same zoom out, so comparison in height, it's like he's got 5 inches on him. And then last but not least, we got good old Vic. And yeah, another friend, but this time he is actually on the like actual intercollegiate team. I'm gonna explain that in the story, but yeah, unlike the other two who are just playing for fun, playing club, whatnot, this guy is serious about his sport. Maybe I should give him a more. Maybe I should give him a more. Where the heck is his expression? Oh, he's unworried. I was like, where is that one? Okay. There, that's a much better expression for him. Sums him up better. So, I'm going to check the comments because I can't see them right now with my Clip Studio up. I'm going to see everybody just be like, your art sucks. Never mind, somebody says looking good. I got somebody who ranted to me the other day about that and just, they were like, you should probably invest in art. And I was like, oh boy. I'm like, I'm literally like 1 week into showing this project and revealing it and saying that it's my own passion project I'm doing for fun. And you're like, improve it. It's like, I'm content with what I have. That's the thing you gotta learn too as a creator. Like, it's like your projects, how you create it and what you invest into it really depends on what you want to get out of it. Oh, this guy? Uh, this one is not the childhood. Oh, well, no. This guy's not even the MC or the childhood friend. This is the MC. You got average looking basic bitch and boyfriend material right here. Uh, as you could tell, my Ocean Avenue Twitter account has a parody name. Well, besides the Ocean Avenue part, that's not parody, but the add-on at the end of it is kind of a parody from Agretzko, the virtual boyfriend thing. You guys gotta watch it, but if you see season 3 of Agretzko, it's like the first few episodes. Oh, it's so funny to watch. And this is the girl character. I kid. She's a pretty solid character. Like, I don't know what else to say. I'm still developing these characters. I don't want to like spoil too much and be like, this is everything about them. But, yep. Here you go, main character, friend, and then Marcus's friends. And another one of Marcus's friends, technically. So, yeah. I'm trying to read Condreamer's comments. It's like, I know you're giving me criticism. I'm just really trying to figure out what you're trying to say. Like, I know you're saying like the head or the hair is too small, but then you say for he got dang head, and I'm really trying to figure that out. Like, so, like that's sometimes the problem when you're creating and you get like a comment that's like very cryptic. Like, no offense, just Schneis is a nice word. I love how it's like the next person's like, that's the thing they comment on. I'm like, Schneis is not that bad of a word, man. Why you gotta be hating on Schneis? It's like that's the part you didn't get caught up with. And yes, improvements do come with time, and depends on how much I want to invest into it later on, or how much I want to revamp things. Like at the end of the day, it's my first VN. It's my passion project. It's not something that I'm gonna be like, I must have pro CalArts level art for this game. Like, yeah, like even if I do like have people like pay for it, it's like an optional payment. I'm not gonna be like, you have to pay to play like some games. Like Tennis Ace even is like free to play. It's optional to pay if you want on Patreon. Like, those or itch.io, either way. But yeah, like that. Like I'm not gonna be forcing people to like pay money for this just to play a passion project. This is a story I want to create and something I just want to share with everybody. So what I am doing here now is basically, oh god, boobs. Oh kid. So what I'm going to be doing here is basically I have a text file which I do not have on screen. It is basically, it says remaining sprites. Geez. I don't know how I'm going to get this on screen, but I could, but I'm just too lazy. But basically it just says like, okay, side images I need to do are, you know, it's going to be easier just to show you guys. Where is it? There we go, text edit. I'm gonna hide all the stupid title stuff. There. All right, basically what it just says is this. So this is my little checklist. Basically, I have this to do right above me, and I have to do things such as an angry expression, annoyed, bummed, confused, etc., etc. I figured all these out while I was writing, and I was like, I need this, I need that, and I typed it into the script, and then when I wrote it into the script, I wrote like a placeholder for it so I could remind myself to do it later, but it won't break the game if I don't have it yet. So, well, technically it doesn't break it. Anyway, I have about 15-ish. I don't know. This is a lot less than Vix, which was the previous character I did. He had like 27 or something. Or 24. It was a lot. So we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 to do, and that does not include the one that I just finished and showed you right now. So I got 17 to go, so I'm going to put this in the bottom right corner here to... You guys aren't even going to be able to see it, but screw it. Here we go. Just going to put it there for placeholder's sake. Alright, so that's what I'm going to be trying to finish sometime today. I don't know exactly when, but I'm going to try and get a good amount of it done while I'm on stream with you guys, just to chill and get this stuff figured out. I just had lunch, excuse me. So, wardrobe malfunction. Yes, the entire body is missing. Yeah, anyway. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to answer them maybe in 10 minutes or so. I don't know. I just need to start doing this, so. I'm going to start with neutral. Neutral is always the easiest, and that is just kind of a blank expression mixed with just more of a indifference, but not as peeved as unimpressed. So I'm gonna go back to my text file and highlight it. Neutral. You might kind of see the yellow bar that I'm highlighting, and that's it. Alright, so I'm gonna go with neutral. Pleased. I'm like satisfied, relieved, that kind of expression. That's the type of pleased I'm saying, you pervs. And I'm gonna go with slightly happy, why not? The thing is, I'm trying to do maybe about 2 to 3, well, yeah, I do 3 like different redraws for head perspectives, and then from there I kind of manipulate each of them from there just to not make it so I have to redraw the head like 20 times. And that's a good tip if you want to create a VN and have multiple expressions. You don't want to be sitting there and being like, I have to draw a character 20 times, unless you're doing like 3 expressions like in total in a sitting per update or something. Like, you don't want to like bog yourself down trying to draw like a 2-hour thing for each expression and draw like 15 to 20 of those, full body and everything for a character. Like, I know Echo and Adastra have different, they have basically like different drawings like for the entire body for each expression. Like, you could see with like, biggest one I can think of is Williams from the Smoke Room, and how his style slightly changes with each drawing a little bit, which it's not a big difference, but it's like you'll sometimes see like, oh yeah, maybe the quality of the shirt is a bit simplified or a bit detailed in one. But anyway, the point of it is like the full body's perspective is changed. Like, one of them he's hunching, one of them he's leaning back, another one he's like taking it back or something. I don't know, another one hands on hips. There's like where it's like his entire body has changed, face, arms, torso. Like, those are like big, like those are big things to do and like invest in. And typically when people do those and have like 8 or 9 of them for like the first update, they typically spend like maybe a couple of weeks or whatever doing each character, maybe a full week. I can't tell. But it's not like what I'm doing right now where it takes like maybe a day or 2 to do a billion expressions. Or not a billion, Jesus, like 20 expressions for like a single character by just changing their head. So, oh god, Lucian is here. Everybody run. Oh no, I kid though, but yeah. I should probably get started before I rant for the entire stream and just not get anything done. Ah, that's too big. So step one is basically like erase the eyes and make them look like they are possessed. And I don't know why I hit that button 3 times, but step two, draw the eyes. And the reason why I make the eye holes about the same size as the old eyes is so I can make sure the new eyes don't get like way too small or way too big in comparison. Like sometimes you'll have that and you're like, oh crap, I just drew it like way too miniature and now their eyes got super small. And unless you're trying to do that for like a purposeful like emotion or comedic effect or whatever, it really isn't gonna help you in the long run. I might want to move this one back. This is another thing about me drawing. I scribble lines a bajillion times, and that's why I'm not a good artist. I'm gonna move this one slightly to the left because it was about slightly left when I did the other one. It wasn't like in there. All right, so now I might give a little more detail to those eyes. At this point, you start to become a makeup artist, and you're just like, I gotta make sure the eyes are perfect. And now you can change the eyebrows. I might change this up here in a bit, which is part of this V, and I might have to edit that V in a little bit. But as long as you can kind of get around some of those things, like you don't have to change them, then you're like, you can just leave them. But sometimes you might have to and just change in the end. So now I am, oh God, why do I keep hitting that button? It's like my habit to hit that button. So there we go. Now we got a very neutral expression. Oh, that was perfect before. Okay. This is why I can't draw. I have OCD. Here we. That's not what I meant to do. This is going on great. I'm starting out slow with this one just so I can kind of warm myself up, explain it to you guys for any aspiring VN creators. Even though this is only my first VN and I'm acting like I'm a veteran. Okay. So, I can erase this. This is okay. Luckily, with this character, her fur is very simple, just the V on the top of her head, and the ear fluff is kind of changed, and part of her hair is. But other than that, the rest of her body is like single colored because Arctic foxes all have that just white fur for the most part. So, I would also change this if need be, but we're moving on from that. So now to color in the parts that are missing. You could do like a rectangle or circle, whatever. Just to fill in this part, I keep this the color of the same color as the main body, and well, bam, that's back to normal. And now I add a second layer to help make things up. Just make 3D models, no need to draw extra stuff. Lucian, but that's too hard to learn, and I'm lazy, man. I'm too lazy to learn 3D technology. Jeez. Lucky you. Proceeds to draw laser eyes instead. Nice. You are a VN creator who makes his own art. Unlike some of us. Oh, don't say that, Lied. Lied, you're a good writer too, and he was the first person to help like critique or like revise my script, I'd say. Mostly just help with typos at the moment, but yeah, I'm trying to get a couple of people on board to like give me some critiques or revisions so I can make sure the story flows better. I had a second person come in and just really tear into it and really detail like, okay, there's no hook, there's no this, there's no that. And I'm like, I might need to slow down and draw the characters first and then get back to that. Because I don't want to have to like go back to writing a bunch of stuff right now and not have this finished. I want to have like all the visuals done first, and then so I can have writing and progress from there. Getting these assets is like the most important thing for this game right now, because it's kind of the bare bones of the characters. Stupid lunch. I had Italian for lunch, so it's gonna be a belch fest. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna move this one up. I need your eyes. So here we go. The eyes are gonna be filled in. Worst comes to worst, you can always use your brush tool to kind of correct some areas. And now to get this part. And now we are almost done with the first of 17 expressions. Oh shoot, wrong color. Now this is the part that I do. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. And yep, that's the first expression. Just a simple neutral face. Yeah, usually you don't want to make something like way too elaborate for your neutral face or whatever, like crazy perspectives or whatnot. Typically you want to save those for like your most extreme expressions, like just completely shocked or like taken aback or just laughing super hard or having a shit-eating grin. There's certain expressions where you're like, I need to redraw the entire head and whatnot, which I'll maybe do, or no, I will definitely do, actually, I'll need to, but I'll have to do that one or two more times for this character. Now here comes the fun part. I luckily spared you guys from doing all the crazy maths and whatnot for this. I had to go into my... Let me see if I have it, actually. I'm not going to... Can I show it? I might be able to. I had to, like, manually put in the exact coordinates for a certain character's head position, and it was a nightmare because the other characters so far did not have to do that. Like, I could just say 10 times this, divide by this, or whatever for the coordinates for where to crop the head. Because for the side expressions, I'm taking the head from the actual, like, body regular perspective and moving it down to there. And that takes some math to move that entire head down. So, Selma, there she is. Yeah, I had to put in her exact numbers to the nearest hole and be like 570 by 430 or whatever. And normally I would put like 900 times this divided by this based on the head's perspectives in the full body picture. And this helps me avoid making like duplicates of the same thing and having to resize it and worry about making 3 different things of the same head. Trust me, it saves a bunch of time, and you'll thank yourselves later when if you do it that way with a side expression. Like, some stories don't do that. Like I said, the Smoke Room, the Echo Project, that group doesn't do that, and so they don't worry about that. They're more story driven than being technical GUI driven like Tennis Ace is. Alright, so I'm gonna quit out of that. Oh yeah, and once I get back to college, it's like, I don't know how invested I can be. This is the most invested I've been in like creating the game this entire like season, I'd say, this entire summer. Yeah, once I get like the first update out, my goal is to get it out before I start school. And then when I get it out, I'll probably like wean off the amount of art that I do for it. Like, of course, I'll have to create multiple like additional characters and CGs and whatnot for stuff down the road. But I won't be doing like 5, 6 characters with 20 expressions in one sitting or one update in the future. So yeah, you gotta kind of weigh your time with your project itself. Like I kind of rushed the release of it once I got the writing done. I was like, I'm gonna get this out ASAP, and realized I had to draw everything. So, okay, I'm gonna actually get back to explaining how to export. So, I'm going to export as a PNG. Now I'm going to go to the folder that I created earlier, which is actually in my RenP like games file folder thing. And so I created a Selma thing under the images folder. Jesus, what am I saying anymore? And create a folder for each character. So Evan, Kenny, Marcus, Selma, and Vic. So Selma, I'm here, and luckily I can click the name and change the name from head unimpressed to head neutral, and bam. Now that head can be used for the side thing next to the dialogue and for the regular body. So that is a blessing for RenP. Like that's the one thing I really love about RenP is how you can do that and adapt things really within the code so you don't have to duplicate things. So now I am going to continue on. Apologies if I'm boring everybody with this, but most of this will just be me talking to the wall and just ranting about life with no music because copyright, man, it kind of sucks and you know, life. So next one I'm going to do is pleased. So I'm going to, bam, delete one. We're going on to the expression pleased. And this is more of kind of like a relief type of please, like thank you type of please, like that. And I think her eyes will be closed for it. I'm gonna have to pull a hard key thing and just rotate this 180 and just make it like happy. Or I could just make it easier and just be like, okay, that's a bit too much actually. Yeah, maybe I'll put like a little grin at the end here. I might have to redraw some things. So. Let's see how thick I want this. Oh, I might also make this the slightly happy expression. So this is going to be the slightly happy expression, and then moving on to please. So silently happy. I meant slightly happy. Jeez, I can't spell. And that might work. I don't think I'll have to do a line here. It looks kind of gaudy if I do. All right, so wrong layer. I'm just gonna take that out and place it with the. Ah, jeez, that ain't looking good, Chief. Come on. You always gotta capture the wrinkling around the edges of the eyes. Well, I mean, you can, but like typically it's more on the outside of the eyes, I guess. I never thought about wrinkles around the eyes for smiling. And you also kind of want to, wrong layer. You also kind of want to have the eyes kind of crinkle in a little bit, just crinkling in. Like you want them scrunched a little more like this, I guess. Like I'm sorry if I'm acting like, oh, I'm some expert on this. I really am not. I'm just kind of doing this based on my experience with people in real life smiling or what I notice. Don't don't take this as me knowing what I'm doing. Take this as me kind of giving an educated, was it educated guess or whatever, educated opinion, something like that. So okay, maybe it's more on the outside like this. Yeah. That's much better. This guy just improved my entire art. Thank you, random person. I think it was like Justin, maybe. Just oh, soloist guy. Perfect. Yeah, you want to make them small, size 3. All right, so now we move on to doing the thing. Okay, which layer was this for? Whatever. Now, thank goodness the fan is off. If people haven't noticed already, I am not in my usual house. This isn't my home. I'm actually house sitting slash dog sitting, and the dog is resting right now. So I decided to kind of take this afternoon to just do the stream, do that while I'm at their house, make sure that there's no personal like identifying stuff there. And so yeah, that's just kind of my thing that I'm doing right now. I probably should have just done an inverse select for this, but it's too late. Sometimes you're lazy by not being lazy. All right. I'm just going to do this next to there. Make it easy. Yeah, I might also adjust those eyes, actually. Yeah, this could be more of a wrong item. Yeah, the grin's gonna be a bit more. What is it? Like a bit more emphasized. This is just kind of a subtle, like, yeah. Uh-huh. More of a condoling type of smile. Once again, I'm acting like a freaking novice snob ass. Anyway, all I have left is the smile. Let me just. Yeah, I don't have any teeth yet. I don't have any teeth. Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of keep them white, maybe a tad on the gray. Let me see what that will do. Okay, that's too dark. It's only like 1% white. Screw it, I'm just gonna leave it all white. Otherwise, it's like. Otherwise, it looks like way too like dull. So, this is what it looks like. All right, guys. This is my slightly happy look. Thoughts? All right. No, no negatives, no critiques yet. So might as well just explore it at this time. So that's 2 down and 15 to go. All right, now we go on to pleased. Oh crap! I hate when I do that. Like it'll just randomly scroll off to the left like that. Alright, so once again, erase around the eyes, kind of do a full circle of what the full eyeball would probably look like, if complete, like, as if it was like skeleton. Do a total eclipse of the heart, laser eyes. And now, oh, the suits are so well, actually. Maybe a bit too much. Looks too scrunched. Looks too pleasured. Yikes. That was not a line. That was a crime against humanity. Yeah. I tried to do more of the awoo eyes. We're going full awoo on this stream. Okay, so maybe I should put more of a this. No. Hmm. Okay, I think I might need to make the grin a bit bigger. And this will help me transition into my next expression, maybe like just like the normal old grin. So, we are going to go all in on this one. We are going full grin, boys. All right, I'm gonna check the chat. If anybody sends me something and they just keep and they are like asking like why haven't you like why aren't you answering or whatever, like I can't see this screen when I'm working in Clip Studio Paint because it takes up the full screen when I'm drawing on my tablet. So I'm not trying to ignore you guys. I just can't see you and work at the same time. Eyebrows on point. Nice. All right, so now we move on to the. There we go. No, that's too thick. Maybe? Yeah, that's good. Now we move on to the this. Ah, this is so nice to be in a room alone. Working on this instead. Well, I'm always in a room alone technically, but to be in a house alone and not have to worry about going down for a meal or having to be obligated to do anything with other people. Complete relaxation. Oh god, that's ugly. There we go. How to remove that? Luckily this one doesn't require eyes, so I'm just going to scribble this in, make it easy, and we are going to export this one, and then we're only going to have like 14 more to go, baby. Like, dang it. I was really hoping as a goal to get this done by tonight, and I'm definitely going to be on track for that. And if I can do that, then I might just do the, what is it called? The game menu art, like the main menu art and the game menu art, which will be an actual like cover art. And then I'll be pretty much done with the art for the first update and just put in the CGs kind of as I go, like maybe make it like a Patreon exclusive the first 14 days without the CG. And then maybe put it in possibly. I don't know. I'm probably gonna do something like that maybe where it's like I'll do that and maybe give preview access to the CGs first to patrons who pay, and then bam, release the full thing with the CGs in the game once it's all set up and done with the CGs. So yeah, that might be my idea. Give like either a Patreon or public update without the CGs, show the CGs to patrons, and then bam, update it with the CGs. So like a 1 and a 1.5. Just came up with that right now, and plans are already working. That's how 90% of this game has been created. Just lots of instantaneous thoughts. So first selected layers. So in total, Selma is gonna have 18 expressions. So yes, be ready to see 18 different expressions for this character. And I'm not gonna act like, oh man, just because I'm making so many, they're all gonna be amazing or whatever. And I'm not gonna act like, oh, I'm just gonna rush them and make them all crap. Like, I'm giving them like good templates for the heads themselves, and then just improvising from there, which a lot of artists will do probably if it's like a comic or something like that, where the position of a character doesn't move that much or whatever. Like, you're not gonna just redraw the same thing 20 times if they're just sitting in the same spot like 20 times like that. So just because you're not drawing more doesn't mean you're lazy in a sense. Like, you know what, like just because you're not drawing like you're not drawing a new pose every single time is what I mean. Don't take this out of context. Don't be like, Dirk says don't draw, it makes you better. No, I'm trying to say, like, you know, you don't have to draw the same thing over and over again if you already have it, and it won't make a difference if you keep it the same. Like, obviously, if you do it for like 100 different things and you're drawing a comic and it's like the same sitting pose 120 different times, then it'll get kind of old. But you know what I mean, if you use it like 3, 4, 5 times, whatever, for this, in a sense, maybe 8, 9. Yeah. Well, for VNs, you have more of that excuse, I mean. Like, because it's just stills like this. So, head pleased. Oh, God. I think a goal I'm going to do is after I finish each one, I'm going to check back here and look at the questions, see if anybody added new comments. Because I can't see my OBS or my Twitch live stream right now, like when I work in Clip Studio, like I mentioned a few seconds ago. All right, so we are going to do Grin next. And Kind, I'd say. Grin and Kind. So Grin and Kind. Just wanted to test something out. Okay. Okay, Grin, Kind, and I like doing things in threes because it kind of gives me a rhythm to go off of. Good thing to do if you have like a ton of work to do, like get this many problems done in this time, and otherwise you kind of lose track of time and just don't get anything done. So, yeah, might as well do eye roll next with it. I'll probably do that one last of the three, and then just kind of go upwards, like ascending order. But yeah, like Grin and Kind are probably gonna be very similar. But yeah, eye roll is gonna be like maybe it's more of a kind of a downward mouth and of course an eye roll. All right. Just gonna double check I'm not off camera. I hate when I lean in too much and it feels like I'm falling off camera for you guys. I don't want to like just have no head in there. So, duplicate. Because I'm so original. Grin. I'd say this is about the size of it. Don't worry, I'll erase that part later. Oh shoot, I added a limit. Whatever. She has a little mole there for now. Can always revise that later. Or now. I can actually just revise that right now. I can just do this. Oh, good thing I didn't catch that too late. Let's go replace head, please. Place. Alright, now back to this one. Back to spooky, scary eyes. Because it's Halloween soon. Everybody acts like September is Halloween, and it's not. But I'm okay with people doing it. Because it's a fun holiday, and people get to be spooky. I'll work on the eye pupils themselves later for that one. So I feel like I have very tight wrists for some reason. Like I try and draw something big and it still is small. Even when I try and draw something big, it's like small like that. Oh jeez. And 90% of my lines are absolute horrendous, like irredeemable things. And then I just kind of trim over them like this to, yeah, give them that like eyeliner effect. So compare that to neutral. I'm gonna make this side bigger. And we'll compare that to even then it's not that. It's tough when you have characters with big eyes because then you have to really make sure the eye size is super consistent. Otherwise, it looks really noticeable. You mess up. We're gonna try about that size. It works. Because she's kind of squinting a little bit too. It's like you kind of got that look where it's like, if you know what I mean. So bam. All right, so I think this may break some people's hearts what I'm about to say, but I'm not sure if Shuichi is best boy. Not sure Shuichi's best boy anymore. After playing the recent Tennis Ace update, just I don't know. It's like as soon as Shuichi gets like second or whatever in my March Madness bracket, it's like Basket's probably just thinking like, hey, let me make Dirk not like him as much. Nah, I kid, but I think it's like in reality he's just become more realistic per se in terms of like his flaws. Like they're not as like, oh, they're just a distant thing, just ignore them. Like they're not as like romantically able to get over. They're more like, yeah, it's really making you kind of not like not sure if I'd say toxic, but just not a healthy. You're becoming an unhealthy person through the things you're doing in a sense. And for Shuichi, it's like from being way too obeying of his dad and trying too much for that. Even when you get all the decisions right, it's like, oh, it's just it drives you nuts. And you're like, come on, just stand up to the guy, just freaking kick his ass. You're 6'4", and he's like half a foot shorter than you. Just freaking curb stomp the man, just drop kick him. Nah, I kid, but oh my god, it's like you get so frustrated when you see a character just not break that shell and just come out on their own. Ah, but another thing that I was actually gonna say, like that if I wasn't gonna veer into, but now I kind of want to address is I'm not too sure how much longer I'm gonna be doing like VN read throughs or playthroughs on my channel. As much as they're fun to do and just kind of chill and hang out with you guys, they've gone from being my forefront in terms of entertainment and creating things to just kind of something I'm not as fully invested in mentally. Like I'm not so like my heart's not in it as much anymore, and I hate to say it, but I don't know if once I start really having the ball rolling on this novel, if I'll keep doing like these streams or how many of them I'll do. Like maybe I'd only go down to like one or two novels that I play instead of like four. It's strange. Like I like I like doing them when I'm in the moment. It's not like, oh, I have to set up the camera, do this, do that. Like that just comes with anything you do, and that's totally cool to do. But when it's like it's tough to do something when you want to be doing something else. It's like you tell somebody, hey, I'm going to help you paint. I was about to say paint the lawn, but cut the grass or paint the paint the fences or some crap like that. Like you tell somebody, hey, I'm gonna do this thing for you, they think, oh, you're doing this because you really want to for me, but then you're doing it and you're like, God, I could be doing this other thing right now, and it's like it weighs on you more, and your emotional investment into that other thing just exponentially increases. And I honestly get that feeling with like my VN streams. Like I feel like, man, I like doing these, but at the same time, I really like creating this game that I'm doing right now, and I'm really having a blast setting it up and creating the world and world building that, and really telling my story through it too, or well, things that have related to my life. This is not my exact self-insert OC crap. Like I'm trying to do the thing like Basker or other creators do, where they split themselves in amongst other characters and don't just make one the exact representation of themselves. But yeah, I just feel like it's getting to a point where I look at these VNs and go, I want to be like one of those creators and be more so in the creating community of things, as opposed to sitting there and having to read all of them. Like it's fun to do as like a hobby on the side or to do with people when you hang out, but making it my main investment for like my channel, like what I do or what I get Patreon money for, it's like I don't know. I feel bad when it's like your heart's not in it. It's like gotta be in it. Didn't think this would turn into such a confessional type of video. Like there's gonna be like a down the rabbit hole on Dirk the Red Panda, and that this is gonna be the moment where it all starts going awry. Like then Dirk started trying to do VNs, and it's like this pants to this video. Oh god. Okay, gotta make sure that's not too dark. Make sure the multiply smudges it properly. Ah, crap. Also gotta make sure it's round enough. Alright. Oh, I gotta do the thing that Soloist told me to do. Okay. Probably on a different layer. Yeah, different. Do I? Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna do it on a different layer. When in doubt, different layer. So just size 3. First comes to worst, I could just do size 2. It's like sometimes it's like this pen gets very picky and yeah, sometimes the pen gets picky and just does not want to be thin. Just wants to be thick. All thick, no thin. Just like all the VN characters as of late. Like, you talk about Neferu, and oh boy, yeah. Like if anybody saw that recent video Lucian made, if he's still here right now, it's all your fault. Oh god, like he's wearing a suit and dude looks like he's a fucking absolute unit in it. Like when I fell asleep that night, I was like, oh god, if I died and went into this exact universe where he's in this suit like this, I would probably be eternally blissful. That would be my heaven. Alright, so I'm just gonna finish exporting this, and yeah, then I'm gonna check the comments to see what has progressed. Hopefully she doesn't look too like anxious with this grin. Like I know I gave her the eyebrow thing. Eyebrow, jeez. Yeah, the eye thing where where she gets wrinkles from it, but I don't want it to look too like paranoid, like I'm going crazy. Like you typically want to put those more towards the bottom as opposed to kind of corners. Excuse me. I think I'm just gonna adjust these, maybe make them a little more wrinkle, like not like I could do that actually. Soloist was right. Eye wrinkles are key. Okay, maybe not like shoot. Maybe not like connected, otherwise it looks like a floof like that, like a little tuft of fluff. Yeah, that. I'm gonna do that, but short on the second one. Perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna export and then check the comments to see what has transpired since I left. Merge. Welcome to Dirk's very peaceful house that isn't even his. Right now, he is exporting a PNG file. Okay, that has been exported. Now he will delete it off of his to-do list. Golf clap. Only, what, 13 more to go? 3, 4. How many are above? 1, 2, 3, 6. Plus 5. Plus 2. 13 to go. Yes. Big Suit Nefero. Oh yes. My greatest creation. You are evil. Made a new animation today. Still super cursed, of course. Anything you touched is cursed, Lucian. You are the reason why it's all cursed. Kimia is probably going to request some like illustration, illusion, CG thing from you probably someday and be like, we need an interactive Adastra game. It's like you come back after 8 years as Marco or whatever, and everything's just a 3D like VR game. It's Lucian doing the art for it. Oh, that would just absolutely freaking blow people's minds. Like if Adastra got into VR, I don't think anybody would leave the house. Like that would be the peak of furry VNs. I think the dog is sleeping somewhere. He's not in the cage anymore. Oh, he's between the couch. Okay, good. Alright. So yeah, no other new... Oh, there's more comments. Never mind. Quickly cause havoc. Dirk isn't looking. Nice. I think you'll feel like that for a while, but you'll go back to reading other novels once you release yours. Gives you a feeling of what you're doing and you'll likely have more time. Okay, maybe I should hold back the having more time part. Yeah. That's the thing I've heard, like once you create something or release something or are committed to something, you're gonna have to like have that as a solid investment until the game is completely released, completely finished, like all the updates are done. Like even people like Basket or Grizzly for like Tennis States and Password respectively, it's like even though they've released like 20, 40 updates, they both are still in the midst of doing the game itself. It's not like, oh, I did it, and now I'm done now that I've released it a couple of times. It's like, yeah, once you get the final release of the final update, final everything, and yeah, completely package and seal it, that's when you could be like, now I have more time. But yeah, when you're in the midst of that, yeah, you're just committing yourself to another huge rabbit hole. But yeah, it's something that is something where I think once I actually release it and not doing 50 different expressions right now for the first update, I think then I'll have more time and then I won't be doing as much CG or art for it and I'll have all the assets there. So all I have to do is maybe like create 1 or 2 new characters or something like that and maybe like 1 or 2 new CGs or whatever. Well, maybe these first couple of updates will maybe just have will maybe have more than 2 new characters or whatever, but you know, they won't be like as expressive as these main characters. But yeah, honestly, I think I'll have a bit more like off my shoulders and feel a bit more open to like have Fridays off to do my what's it called? VN streams. But yeah, I think I'll once I release this first update, I'll be able to like finally budget my time and be like, okay, Friday afternoons are definitely my streaming days. And I'll actually stream VNs instead of doing this. But since none of them have updated that I normally play, and I don't want to add more to the mix and like completely kill myself over with time, I just want to stick with this and kind of make it fun too to show you guys what I'm doing. So I think it also is good to kind of see somebody going through the work of it to inspire other people because I always like seeing people in the process, in the makes of making the AVN and just, you know, doing it and just being there and being a part of the journey, I'd say. Like that really is a big motivator for me to have someone there to be like someone to keep you going. Yeah. Rambling here, man. Okay, I think I'm gonna change this one to grin and the other one to kind. And that's completely okay. Sometimes you look at an asset and go, yeah, that asset looks like he's smiling more. This maybe fits a different character's description. I literally did that on my old project that I was working on with Badger. Well, his project that I was working on for him. Like what was it called? Vargavald. Now I was about to say the old title, but yeah, like on Vargavald, I was doing the art for it, and one of the characters I was going to do was supposed to be this guy who was kind of supposed to be a bit cowardly, but also kind of a dick to the main character. Like he was, like his name is like Geir or something like that, Gear or whatever, Geir. It's supposed to be like I don't know, Scandinavian. I forget all the dialect. Badger knows best, but anyway, what happened was I drew the character a little too cowardly looking, and just all I what happened was I did it, and it's like the position they had was pretty cowardly looking, and Badger was like, "Hey, this looks better for this other character that I have, Sigurd, who's supposed to be more of the tiny precious being of the group." And so I changed maybe a little bit of the face, I'd say, and so, yeah, once I changed the face expression, I completed that drawing of that character and made that character Sigurd. And everybody says he's a precious looking being whenever they see him. And God bless them for that. There we go. That's more of a grin. Okay, the other one's definitely going to be moving to kind. So sometimes you make lemonade out of lemons. And speaking of which, I am thirsty, and after this one, I'm going to grab some water and have lemons. I mean, have water. I was about to say have lemonade, but honestly, I become so freaking like I become so freaking what's the word like not intoxicated, but just my brain just shuts down in a sense where I become incomprehensible in a sense. But yeah, I sometimes become so incomprehensible with what I say, even if I'm completely dead sober. Like I just don't know why. It's like people think, oh, you're well spoken with something with a lot of things you say, and it's like, not yeah. It's like yeah, until I end up just trying to speak normally, like this, and then just absolutely shut my brain down for no reason. Like my brain just loves to just randomly turn off and be like, nope, I am not working today. Oh God, are those eyebrows must be on fleck? I must have eyebrows. There we go. Fleck. Okay, that one's a bit small. The other one's a bit bigger, but a little less round. Oh, I hate when this happens and you're like, oh, it looks good, but it's too small. And then the other one's like, it's the size I want, but it's like the shape is ugly. Perfect. Yeah, I just gotta redo this one. It's a lost cause. It's like you try and do the half circle, but then it turns more into like a like what is it? I forget what it's called, but yeah, it turns into more of like a U. This is why I don't think I could do like art full on as like full time commissions or like I would be way too slow. Like my OCD would absolutely be the bane of my existence. Like I go from the first time looks alright, maybe I could shrink it a tad to just absolute malarkey where I just can't even draw it straight. There we go. Like I said, it's like I'm at a level where I feel like I'm competent enough to be like comfortable with the art and feel like it's presentable, but at the same time, I know I'm not like some Mona Lisa prodigy like type of artist where I feel like I could do this and sell it and be like a pro artist at things. I have enough to make a game, and I'm not gonna try and waste more time when I have other parts of the novel to work on, like the writing or the GUI or just coding. So yeah, story of my life. Story of my life. Okay, this one's gonna be Grin. I'm gonna change the other one to Kind when I'm done. So let's figure this bad boy out. Or this bad girl out. Let's figure out this bad girl. Okay. Oh, I need to add the... I'll add that on after I color the eyes. I'm using the lasso tool to try and fill things as a one tool. Oh, I'm so stupid. And once again, don't worry, chat. I will look back at you once I have finished this character. Okay, that was too thick. Yeah. Okay, so there's that too. Okay. Maybe that's not the right direction. Okay, maybe that's the better direction. Or the more north as opposed to south with the eye. I'm learning as I go, guys. And I'd probably say that this is my most productive stream, I'd say, relative to my previous ones. Ah, God. Why must art be so hard to do? Even though I'm not even doing the most high-level art myself. Oh, that's the other two. Okay, change it to 4. Okay, so this method that I'm doing right now with the eyes themselves, I don't know if I like stole this technically by accident or am well copying in a sense, or not sure if I'm like yeah taking this kind of idea from anybody, but the closest person I could think that does this is Naira with their art. I think I saw with her and kind of took inspiration from that was With the eye pupils here, I take like a black brush, and since all the brushes in Clip Studio Paint are, where is it? What's the setting? That there's like a setting that tells me what it does, like by default. No, maybe it's just the oil itself. I think maybe it's just a Clip Studio Paint thing, but it's either because of the multiply tool or the oil paint brush itself. Maybe similar brushes do this too, but basically, if you take like any color like blue, green, whatever, and then you take a much darker color per se, like black, and you take this oil paint brush and just color over it in the same layer, it does this kind of multiply like smudging effect where it darkens that entire area you're drawing around like this, and basically darkens it so that it's not like black, but like a darker blue or green or whatever color you have, like a much darker one, but not fully like black. And it really saves you like time, and just like overall looks a lot better for eyes because it blends better. It doesn't look so gouty, especially if you have like blue eyes and then it's like bam, completely black. Like it may look a little more realistic depending on how you do it, but if you just have black dots for the pupils like that, it just looks very uh what is it called? Like just very obvious or very contrasting. I'm terrible with words today. I don't think I've been this bad in like a while. Okay, so I'm gonna save this as grin and then save the next one as kind. So here we go. Time to replace grin. Replace. I'm gonna move that up to here, and kind. What's your deal? Ah, there we go. 12 to go. Otherwise, the chat said, nice, nothing yet. I have no responsibility at this point. So I'm gonna go quickly get some water, highlight 2 more of these so I can do these evenly in threes, and then I'll go. So, and then I'll leave. I'll just walk off the stream and not hit the end. So, okay, maybe I'll do focus next. Eye roll, focused, and annoyed. Okay, those are the 3 go-tos. I try and do them in order of just how similar the expressions are. Like, if I'm starting off with neutral, I'll try and do like blank next, or like kind or indifferent or unamused. Things where it's like most of the stuff like the mouth or the eyes maybe or eyebrows are very same position for that expression, and all you have to change is like maybe 1 or 2 things. Of course, there'll be some where you have to change a lot, but the position itself is still the same. But for some of them, yeah, you try and go off of that and just be like, okay, I'm gonna start with this one, and this one will be similar to this other one, and you kind of go into this leapfrogging pattern for like 5 or 6 of them where they're very similar to each other, but the first one to the 6th one, they're like completely different by the end. So then you have like 6 unique ones. So I'll be back. I'm gonna get some water, maybe some lemonade. want to be pets? Aw, now you're gonna get fur all over my. You're gonna get fur all over my drawing glove. Oh, you sweet. Yeah. So the dog is like now right next to me, and she just wants some pets. She's off camera, just kind of chilling around, walking around the house. Right, so I roll. Crap. There we go. Now let me put my legs back into position. You're okay, girl. Alright, so I think I might try and do a new expression. Like maybe a new layer actually. So I'm gonna go for a unique, original character expression. So what I do here is, in order to keep the head size consistent, it's kind of draw a circle around the previous head that I did, just so I can, like, kind of about where I can, like, estimate where the original circle was for the original drawing. Obviously, my circles are hack garbage right now, and I do not know why. It's because I can't really draw that consistently for my life. But yeah, so about here, I would say. Maybe here. I think it was a bit bigger than this. Oh yeah, it was definitely bigger than this. That was the thing. It's like foxes. Foxes have a weird head shape to them, where they're more diamond like, where you kind of have to bam bam like da with them, and so I have to make the circle much bigger than the actual head is. And so I might change that for the future where I do the circle like in a certain way and then maybe do the diamond like outside of the circle. So I might try that now. It's just to play around with it. Just so I can like do something better, just so when I draw heads in the future and put them on bodies for reference, I don't have to like resize it a billion different times. Because foxes can be tricky like that. Foxes are the trickiest little bit of buggers. Alright, so like foxes, like I could do like if I was doing this one, it'd be something like this maybe. Now I'm trying to do it outside of the circle a little bit more. So this. The position was about like this, give or take. So it's like this. Roughly. I'd probably say a lot more like this, I'd say. And that's probably because the head was a lot bigger. Like a lot bigger. And plus with Arctic foxes, their ears kind of go up a little more. I think foxes in general have them go up a little more, so it would have been like this. Ignore this line. This line doesn't matter. Something like that. But anyway, I'm doing a new perspective, so I'm going to kind of ignore that, but try and go for that just in terms of like sizing of the diamonds. Gotta try and do something like that with it. You want to do the crosshairs first, just to keep yourself. I'm trying to think of what an eye roll or an annoyed look would look like without the muzzle covering too much of it. So I have to remember too with this character, she's got bigger eyes because Arctic foxes will have bigger eyes in general for characters. And and another thing about that is their muzzles are smaller instead, like in contrast. So I might want to go more like kind of like that. Eh. Not as giant of a muzzle reference from the base of it. Like I do this as kind of a base ref. Like, bam, here's the base. Like normally if it was like a wolf or something bigger, it'd be like bigger, more outside like that, and or hyenas even. Yeah, hyenas and wolves, just canines have more of a similar size of that. Even foxes are about like regular foxes are about the same, but thinner. Arctic foxes just are kind of like red pandas or raccoons are bigger too. But what I'm saying is Arctic foxes and like maybe red pandas too have like a smaller base for the snout, and I could argue that maybe even for otters. I haven't done otters yet. I still need to do something for cetus yet. But yeah, you kind of want something like that, and since it's here like this, you kind of want to take a line and kind of guesstimate or gauge what it would look like above, because it's you think about this dotted line. I haven't ever taught this to anybody or myself even, so this is totally gonna go over well. So let's see if this will make sense. So since normally if you had the crosshair like down here or something like that, like geez, like this or whatever, it'd be more so like the thing would be down here, the base would be like down here or whatever. You just kind of connect the dots from here and just what I am, something like that. It'd be more of this part. It'd be like downward. However, oh, did I do something? No. Yeah. However, since it is more above this time, instead of going down like we normally would, it's kind of like doing a protractor, like a pendulum type of thing, where you're starting to go upward more so with it and closer. So like instead of going straight down and being flat and just into the paper itself, it's starting to point out more so towards you, like bam. It's kind of coming outward at you, like bam, like that. And so you don't draw it as long, but you draw it more upward looking. If you really wanted to go upward like this, that would be more of a upward thing like that for the snout position. But for now, it's going to be slightly up, but not like too much, because we are not super off center, but at the same time, we are still off center enough that it has to go up and out. Otherwise, it would just go straight in front of it. And in that case, it's going up, but it's not going out. I hope this is making sense to anybody watching and I'm not boring you people to death. So, usually you want to make this box to appease the art gods and to make it easier on yourself to draw like the muzzle part itself and mouth, and to make it so that you don't have to guesstimate and make some really bad guesses. So this helps you to know that, okay, the muzzle's going to go in like this. Like, you're eventually going to simplify it, but it's going to be like, okay, the muzzle's up here now. And of course, since it's a smaller one, you're going to have to do this. And do this. Like I said, it's a very small muzzle compared to most animals, and ironically, compared to Vix, which is the hyena characters will have much bigger muzzles, so you really have to like avoid shrinking this part down here. And I think I forgot to do the shrinking part. Shoot. So this bottom line is going to go up a little more. So instead of it being here, it's going to go more so here. And so I'm going to have to bring this up a little bit more, which is okay because all I have to do is just something like that. Let me just clear the lines up because it's kind of ugly right now. Very ugly right now. Jeez. I'm really trying to go for experience points here with this one. The worst comes to worst, it's like if if you're really like trying and you're really not able to get it, you can always go back to what's safe in your tool house, but like at least practice this. Like if you're doing this for a commission or a project, like don't feel like you have to like get them do the moon or whatever. Like you don't have to like be some sort of master class person if you're doing this casually. Okay, I'd say this is about what we'd want. She's like up in the air like that, and so her eyes would be kind of back like this, or we can kind of erase not the eyeball, which I'm rubbing my own eyeball right now, but we can kind of erase the sides around it from the base and basically draw the crosshairs here for reference. Like it went from here to here, so you kind of went up like that. So you went up and out. So like that. As opposed to just going straight out, which a lot of beginner artists will make the mistake of, even if they're looking up, the muzzle just goes out. When you go up, you go from like having a side like this to kind of an outward like that, where it's like it's pointing towards you. Like you're no longer just shooting out to an angle. Like, you go up, you're starting to hit the sky, and you have a closer angle to the camera itself, which imagine is a 2D plane. I hope I am not boring the crap out of my 4 viewers. Anatomy isn't real. It's gonna be discussed. It's gonna be like, this character is gonna be the queen of just being pissed off at her friends. Like, I hate being like, oh, this is like Saya. Like, no, I don't want to go for that. Like, she has her own personality of things and her own hardships and flaws that she has to go through. She's probably not as developed, I would say, like that as Saya, where she's not as cocky, I would say. Definitely a hot-headed, but not like a cocky attitude, I would say, like a Saya. Like, she's more down to earth with that, but she could be very teasing, I'd say. Neither are, anatomy isn't real. Neither are organs or ribs at times. I looked at his thin model of Kenny and like, where are his organs? He's supposed to be a skinny character, man. Like, dude, it's because he's wearing a shirt. Like, you don't really see the organs with his shirt, and just in general. Let me see if I can open it just for you guys, just so it could pull it up. Yeah. He's supposed to be thin, like, even without the clothes to rip off his arms. Yeah, maybe I could make this top here, the torso, a bit more, but at the same time, I don't want to go too much. Like, his character is supposed to be like, I know people like this in volleyball that are string beans. Like, this wasn't by accident. I wasn't like, oh, let me make him like big and tall or whatever, and then just made him an absolute stick. I was like, he's gonna be tall and stick. Like, I've done this before. I've actually done this by accident, where I made them like super skinny and like no ribs, and yeah, it's like. But I'm telling you from experience, if you've been in the volleyball community, you'll see people like this that are like D1 players, and you're like, how are they in college, like playing on a scholarship? So I didn't mean to sound like I'm trying to be like, let me justify this, like trying to be like, let me be like, no, this is wrong that you're saying that. That's a valid criticism. I just want to explain why I'm like, why I went for more of that exaggerated-ish type of too skinny for ribs. Yeah. Yes, thin furry characters exist now. Like low key, when I started drawing Kenny this thin, I was like, oh my god, he's just gonna be like Joshua from the Promised Land. Like, if anybody's seen that video or has seen or that video, that movie, or has seen the Saber Spark review on it, oh dear god, it's cursed. If you think Lucian makes cursed stuff, we need to watch that together, Lucian. We need to come together and watch that. Like, low key, that would be gold for us to just see together. I haven't seen it in full, and I would just love to see an experienced person's perspective on that. Just to see like what an actual like what a pro 3D artist, pro I guess you are. I don't know what you call yourself. Like I know you do commissions, but I want to see what a experienced 3D artist would say about it. It is amazing if anybody has seen it. By the way, like, yo, let's go. Hey, we gotta do it sometime, man. I'll DM you about it. I'll figure out a time. So okay. Okay, another thing is since this position is upward, and since the position's going up and it's like the thing is going from like here to here, the nose is going to be more so on top like this as opposed to a bottom position where the nose is way on top and it's just a little bit downward. Like some positions you kind of have to put the nose slightly above the plane itself, but not too much. Okay. And once again, let me know if I'm talking too much because I can be really annoying if I go into really long rants. It's a thing I do. And I get from my mom. She'll talk my ear off about some things. That is my talking juice. Okay. Just trying to figure out how the eyes are going to look with this. Okay, it's going to be something like that, so I'm going for it, man. I'm going for it. Okay, so it's going to be something like. Okay, now I'm going to work on the mouth. And the mouth may have to have a bit of a transformation. If anybody be into TF, y'all into TF. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to cancel the transformation there and just go back to drawing. I'm just going to erase it for now and just whatever happens, happens from this part onward. Since it's more of an upwards position, we're going to see more of the upper mouth like this. As opposed to the bottom where it's going to just kind of cut off from the muzzle itself. I am so nervous this is going to look cursed, like super, super cursed. But it is worth the venture. And this part's supposed to go like way out here, so. I'm not sure if this is not as bad or if it's even more cursed and I don't even realize it. This is the scariest moment when you're trying new things in art. Like whenever you try a new perspective and you're like, oh crap, this is the test. People think, oh, art's just art. It's not like you don't have to really think about tests or exams or like really any big hurdles. Some people just think like, oh, like you just do it, you know it, you do it. Anytime I try and draw something new that I haven't done before, it's like I'm fucking frightened, like a new position or a new perspective. So and that's close enough. That's about what I want. Okay. I also forgot to do the diamonds. So, crap. That's one of the most important parts of drawing the Arctic fox. The damn diamonds. Mine diamonds. And if anybody was there for that stream, I am so sorry. Like, somebody was like, play music, and I did. And it was the worst decision they ever made that I had ever made on their behalf, I mean. So, you'll try this. Let's see what that looks like relative to. Jesus Christ, that looks way small. The eyes are big, everything else is way too small. And that's okay, because we can make everything else bigger around it. Crap, I'm gonna have to zoom out for this. Actually, no, I don't have to. I'm just gonna do something like this. No, you know what? I'm just gonna cancel this. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Just circle everything else that's around it. That that was a bad idea. I'm gonna circle this part first. Circle this. Circle this. I think after this, I may only do one more new. What is it? Like one more new head, and then I'll be done for like making new heads. And I'll just keep it to just slightly altering expressions. So At this point, I'm just gonna pray that it looks fine and just manipulate it from there if it looks too small. Like just do slight change ups in the actual drawing. Let's see what you guys have commented. Oh, thanks, Vincent. The Fat Rat released a new song this morning. It's NCM. I'm not sure who the Fat Rat is. But anyway, I'm just gonna keep on drawing this. Here we go. The typical Fox build has that going on with the ears, where it has like a little topping on the head. I should probably pull up a Fox, Arctic Fox reference, because I am not the most experienced with them yet. I'm just going to pull one up quickly just so I can have it on me. Come on. Species references. Alright. There we go. There are my refs. Typically, you got a lot more fluff on the outside that kind of makes it more boxy looking. And that was something where I kind of really had to pull back and, yeah, double check on things. Life. I had to do a life. And now this part. Don't worry, this part doesn't have to be perfect right here. I can edit that once I actually do the regular drawing lines for it, or well, I can adapt it. I think everything's gonna go downhill once I start drawing the ears. Like it's like everything else is fine, and then the ears are the things that got me. Okay, I can actually draw these more on top. Why must drawing be an effort? I know it kind of has to be in order to be art, but, you know. Sometimes you just have to say that out loud and you're like, I just need to get out the annoyance of it. Okay, that's the roughest drawing that I can do of it so far. Once again, another horizon cutoff. Don't worry, these parts here won't really be drawn in, but they're just more so for reference for the outer part, for the outer foof. So do this and wham! And to also help with the cheekbone type of structure that it's got going on. I'm honestly nervous to draw the fine line, so this is going to be the sketch layer. Well, the ears would flap down if it was like if it was like oh, what is it? Ears flap down if they're more of like a golden retriever or a kind of a long-eared like a bunny or things like that, where it's like the ears are long. But with an Arctic fox, as you can kind of see here, the ears don't really flap. Maybe with a fennec fox, maybe it would, but Arctic foxes don't really have much length to have flappy ears, I'd say. That's my guess on this. Like, at this point, it's me just kind of guessing it and winging it. And oh dear God, I am scared to see the results of this. But yeah, at a certain point with this, it's like you probably have to hit a certain length with the ears in order to like actually have the gravity to knock them down. Once again, not a pro artist or anything. Don't take my words as like gospel. These are my educated opinions. They could be right, and if they're wrong and somebody says otherwise and proves it, then they're probably right. So, okay. Way too many lines that I drew all around here, but that's kind of how sketches normally work. Sketchers. These are sketchers. And then I have to think about the neck itself when I do this, which definitely gonna have to yeet over to here. Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to make this bigger. I'll probably shrink the eyes. So, all right, gonna erase that. But here we go. Time to be ballsy. I think I had to make it much bigger for the head when I did the other one, maybe. Like, I remember having to do some adjustments with the original head. Like, Fennec foxes, like I said, or foxes in general, have such a weird head shape that doing a circle for reference is super tricky. And, like, you'll have to, like, really work around it. Like, that's why a diamond is typically better. I probably should have started with a diamond and come back on it instead of trying to go for a head. Plus, diamonds are easier to crosshair with, in my opinion. Like, you can kind of make an intersection point where the crosshairs meet. Okay, let's see how that looks. It's kind of vibing. It kind of vibes. Maybe I can make it like 110% bigger. Or increase by 110%. And I'll probably erase all these extra gouty lines. All right, I'm gonna move that down and brush erase. Yeah, definitely going for a diamond next time. These circles are cursed when it comes to Arctic foxes. Freaking, I mean, foxes in general. Jesus, I can't speak. Yeah, I'm gonna have to round the floof out when it's on the side. Side floof needs to be rounded a little bit. Like rounded and down a little bit when it's on the outside side like this. When it's straight on, it can be more diamond-like. Otherwise, the other side kind of becomes less diamond-like and more of a round like that. And yeah. Even though this part here is still going to look like this. Can't believe I'm spending this long explaining and like just taking my time with it. Normally I don't have this patience. Yeah. Like I totally think your point is like valid with it, Vincent. Like I didn't want to be like, no, you're wrong, or shut you down. I meant to say it as this is my thoughts on it. That would probably work with other species, though. Thinking about it with wolves, maybe if they have giant ears, I'd have to think about that. Hyenas, I think the ears are very, like, the cartilage makes them really stick. Have to watch Yeens go. And also another thing with that, you also have to kind of cut the horizon off because normally the gear would go all the way down here. But this ain't an art video, and I am probably boring the non-artists to death. Alright, just shrink this one a little bit. Alright. Moment of truth. Drawing the lines. I'm going to have a heart attack and die from embarrassment with this. Decrease opacity, and time to get into drawing the eye roll. Okay. Ears looking alright so far. I always like to start with the ears for some reason. For some reason, my brain thinks they're the hardest parts to make. Like, they're the most defining trait on a lot of animals. So I tend to do them and get them out of the way and be like, let me just worry about the fine, minute details as opposed to the big character-defining traits. And I forgot to draw her hair. Jesus. I'm going to go back to the sketch layer and do that quickly. And then reminder that her hair sticks. She kind of has the hair cut off like this, where it kind of strokes into this and then goes up and out. I am, oh geez, no wonder. The cushion almost made me fall off the chair. Oh god. Everything's wrong in this street. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit on this. I also realized I forgot to draw the maw. There we go. I was like, I knew I was missing something. Forgot about the mouth, the most important part. Maws are important in this fandom. I would be burned on the stake if I forgot them. Alright, that's my best minimal expressions for here. I'm not gonna go into exponential. Extreme detail? I don't know. I'm using math terms now. I had a math class in the spring that just basically broke me, and now I either talk in way too much math jargon or just basic baby talk like this, or I can barely even say a word. So, yeah, I am officially a broken man. Truth. Those are the ears. Good old Arctic fox traits. Okay, yeah, I need to change the eyebrows for the eye roll. The anger like this is gonna be more so for annoyed. Alright, so getting into the eyes, things are looking passable. Like C levels of passable, like not even C minus where I would fail at my university, but flat C passable, maybe even C plus. Probably barely got C in that math class I was talking about because I took it for pass no pass because this is a weird quarter and the pandemic was like made every single class weird, so people got the option to pass or no pass classes they normally couldn't. And so I normally couldn't have passed this class otherwise, or I normally otherwise couldn't have done this class as pass no pass. And so I was like, I better take this because this class is the hardest class of my life. And so then I got a pass in that class and was so thankful. Lord knows I would have died otherwise. Okay, this is going to be the eye roll. I'm honestly feeling really proud of how much effort I put into this. Actually, I was not planning on putting this much effort into a single expression. I think I put the least amount of effort into my main character's expression in comparison now. Like, the other characters I've gotten more and more expressive with. And then it's like my main character is just like basic bitch. All right. I'm getting Valley Girl vibes from this chick. And I don't even know where her origin, like, town or city would be. Like, I'm trying to figure that out. I know her family background, and I have a full arc with that. I just don't know if she'd be like Valley Girl or like, you know, suburban, just completely away from everybody. I don't want to spoil her whole background yet. That's gonna be part of the story, and I really hope people will play this on their channels. Worst comes worst, I might play this game on my own channel just to be like, yo, somebody played it on their channel. Not kid, but I might seriously like try and play it on my channel just to advertise in a sense because I'm reading people's ENs. Might as well read my own. Don't have to ask myself for copyright permissions of playing my own game. Oh, God. I think I'm out of shot. All right. I think I got some progress done. I think I need to squint these eyes a little bit, though. More pain, more agony. Let's see how this looks. Maybe a little more rounded. Yeah. Actually, no, I don't need the wrinkles because she's not smiling. Dear God, it looks terrible. Oh dear God, it looks terrible. Oh shit. She looks too wide. Yeah, you're right. The right side should be hidden more. Yeah, I put it way too far on the outside. I'm just gonna cut and paste it so I don't mess with the other part, just so I can edit. Maybe like this. I might push in the left side a tad too, because it feels like that's also a bit wide, but the right side definitely needed a little revamp. Okay, that's about what I'm gonna do for the right side. Always look at the right side of life. That's okay. There's a little of that. Yeah. Thanks, Vincent, for the little tidbit of advice. Why am I on the white cover? Maybe that works. Okay, I'm gonna try and play around with the left side a little bit right now. And cut and paste it onto a different layer also. Because we need help. Lord help us. Okay. Because before it just felt like I was making wide character instead of thin character. Or not thin character, it's a normally proportioned character, like face-wise. Why am I terrible at words? Yeah. Let's figure this one out. Now that's fine. I just need to go back to the normal eye roll there. And I forgot to. There we go. All right. What do you guys think? Do you think that looks better perspective-wise? Thanks, Vincent, for the feedback. That mouth, though, looks amazing. No, stop it. It feels so basic. Oh, thanks, Vincent. Oh, God. Well, I do appreciate the compliment, though. Like, I thought it was just like, I'm just gonna try and do a simple thing with it. I've never done a mouth like upwards like this. I'm trying to do it right now. Like I've never done like a mouth from that perspective before. I've done downward, but never upward. So I was like fretting for my life. Dear God, was I scared? All right, so I'm going to merge the selected layers. Let me just see for who we reference if that's within the constraints. Okay. Definitely need to make it bigger, actually. Relative to the other heads, it's too small. This head itself is not small in proportions. It's just, excuse me, it's just small compared to its predecessors. So I'm gonna just, yeah. Another big artist advice is to not be scared of having to like redo and like really have to like do these impro impro improvised moments. Like don't be scared to improvise. It's really helpful in the end, and you really will thank yourself later once you get to that point where you're at the end product of it all. Like these, like having to do all these erasures and like transformations, that's normal. Don't feel like, oh, I'm doing too much. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you can literally cut up 40 seconds of me talking to get to like a 2-second thing of advice that I say. It's tragic how bad I am with speech. Like I bet there's fifth graders and like little kids out there that have better speech patterns than I do. Oh, Doggo is making sleeping noises. Okay, let me see how big he grins. Okay, gonna make it a bit smaller. Well, a bit bigger, I mean. There we go. And then I have to add the little hair squiggles. Okay. Not even floof, but the actual hair part of it. Selma has more so actual like hair, I guess, or like relatively on her head, on the back of her head. The rest of her body is more fur, but everything else like this is. Make that smaller. There we go, that's fine with me. That's it. That is Selma with an eye roll. Now to actually color it. This is the biggest hurdle I've made in drawing in years. Not kidding. Maybe like within this year, I'd say. Probably the most I've done within this year. I haven't been that motivated this year. Okay, now I'm looking back on and going, maybe I should erase this part. And maybe make it a little detailing like that. Yeah, not like too much. Perfect. Oh, goodness. It's actually coming out to be something real. I hope I haven't missed much, though it still looks to be the expression impression hour. Nice. Wow, 5 miles, Jesus, I would die from that. I am not a marathon runner of any sorts. When I did track for 1 year, I was only a sprinter. Don't sell yourself short. There are many, many others who can't even do good speech patterns, or half speech patterns. Thanks. I'm not trying to compare myself to people like that way. Like, oh, people are like everybody's worse or better than me. I'm not trying to like fish for things. I'm just being more blunt with my flaws. From a non-artist perspective, it looks really good. Thanks, Light. Like looking at it now, it looks all right. So, yeah. Okay, time to actually color it, and I think I need to make a duplicate layer to close the line. Yay. Yay. Yeah, it's gonna be more so like this. Okay, perfect. Nope, not perfect. Perfect. There we go. Now, time to highlight. And Selma's main color. Oh, well, she has it right here, too. Nice. Well, I'm really loving this character's expressions already now. Like, I'm so excited to have her in the mix with all these other characters. I don't have them in a perfectly like 4-person shot yet. I need to finish this character's assets and manipulate the code a little to do that. But oh my god, I can't wait to take like a snapshot or a screenshot of all 4 of them in together for my Ocean Avenue Twitter. I'm so hyped for that. I still need to make a Patreon and itch.io page for it. Probably ask Cetus or Basket or Grizzly about it. Most likely Cetus or Grizzly will actually respond. Basket's busy. He's making that Case K update, that steamy update. Or I think it's drama in there. Drama is steamy. At least according to YouTube standards. Jesus. Oh boy. What has happened to me? I'm a I am a horrible human being. Okay, I forgot something. I need to do this first. Okay. What did I do? Oh, I hit the wrong layer. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to use soft brush. Yeah, 30 is fine with me. That sounds good to me. Yeah, just double checking that I didn't hit the wrong color. Sometimes you hit the one and you hit like the weirdest spot of it and you get the completely wrong color because you hit like the line or the shadow or something. Ah, drives me nuts every time. Loving it. I forgot to do something that is on this layer, which is the ear floof. Arctic foxes do have that ear floof, gang. My doggo over there just did a shake. A big shake. Oh boy. I think I might end up taking the dog out soon for a walk. Wow, I've been going for 2.5 hours. Maybe around 6 o'clock, I will do that. So I might get this and another expression or two done. So those three that I have on the checklist, and then probably call it here. Unfortunately, worst comes to worst, I can always come back and just keep going tonight if people really want me to stay and keep streaming. But yeah, I don't want to drone on for like 5 hours, just me drawing. Like maybe 3 hours max, and me just drawing and talking about this game and whatnot is okay. But I don't want to just be like stalling people for money or whatnot. I put ads on my videos on. I don't know if I should say it. I'm so nervous to talk about ads because then I get scared if I mention I bring up ads. YouTube's gonna instantly demonetize me. YouTube has been like that where it's like I was live streaming one time, I mentioned something about ads or something, instantly offline. It's like, dude, what's wrong? Like, what can I and can I not say? Be specific. I hate when they are like, oh, you've been taken down because you violate policies. And it's like, please put me at the exact time and explain why. Be like a damn essay and give me the damn quote. Not commentary, just quote. Seriously, man. But yeah, anyway, I was on this layer. Yeah. Anyway, I was saying about ads. Like on the ads I do for my YouTube vids, it's like I only do them before and after the vid itself, unless it's like a 4 hour, 3 hour vid, and I put in like one mid-roll ad. Like I try and be very sparing with the ads. I don't want to be like one of those people that does like one ad every 5 minutes, because Jesus, those people are annoying. So I try and keep it as frugal as possible, and if anything happens, it happens for money, and it's just more of a side thing if I get anything. So I don't worry too much about it. All right, so Last thing I need to add is the V. The V goes kind of in the middle, and it's at about 70%. Oh no, that's not where I want it. Oh, take you out soon. Okay, I just need to put this higher. Sorry, I'm just like trying to get this pretty exact. There, that's about what I want. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. That's the tough part, getting those coloring parts in like the shading parts are the hardest. It's like you have to kind of be like a makeup guru. You have to be super like picky and exact. And now I'm going to go on to the bow. I'm just going to remove that for now. You don't need that. I roll. Well, bam. Look at that gorgeousness. It's an it's a piece of head. It's a what is it called? The thing you put as a ponytail band. It's a ponytail band. There we go. All right, now to do the tongue. I have not done her tongue yet. Maybe I'll make it more towards a purplish because she's more. Perfect. Oh, I'm loving it so much now. Oh, goodness. I'm going to check the chat for any comments after I finish this character, which will probably just take me a few seconds. Or a minute, probably. I'm being very exaggerative today, aren't I? Alright. And last but not least, the grin, and then we'll move on to the eyes, and then we'll be done. There we go. We did it, boys. We made a new expression. Normally it doesn't take me this long. I just really wanted to get a unique expression on this character. So now that that is finished, just gonna double check to see if I didn't miss anything. Nope, did not apparently, so I am going... Okay, it feels like between the grin and that. Yeah, I think I need to shrink the eyes. The eyes themselves are just too big relative to that, and I thought they were going to be bigger for some reason. That's fine at least. At least now we know. And it's okay to like make these changes last minute too, because at least now we have like what is it? We have things here. We have precautions. We have eyes that I can edit. No object to transform. Wrong there. I'm going to cut and paste this layer like behind. So I think it's going to be something like this, like about here maybe. Shoot, I'm not sure which direction. I'm gonna go for that, and I can add in little smidgens here and there to improve the quality. So everything is okay here. All right. Scribble, 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 scribble. All right. Now I just need to fill in the parts behind it, which is not gonna be hard. I just have to do that. Magic. Magic. Oh, magic. Alright, now I just want to see what this looks like relative to a grin. Now let's see what's relative to kind. I still feel like it's too big. Why? Why is it too big? I think I just need to take off the wideness, and that's it. It just looks too much like that one person's thing. Like, I'm trying to think of that one, like, person on Twitter where they're like Fox Dad, like number one Fox Dad or some crap like that. Like, I feel like my character looks too much like theirs, but then again, their character is an Arctic Fox, so it's like, well, what am I really like? How much different can I really be? Let's see how that looks. I'm gonna check the comments now at this point. Yeah, the eyes would be fine if you're making anime eyes. Honestly, I might do that. I might just leave it. At this point, it's like I've given up. Yeah, it may be a bit long, but it's not like too long. Like, It's so frustrating. It's like, I want to shorten it, but it's like, it'll be too short. I'm just gonna shrink it another like 90%, down to 90. Yeah, 90 is about the right size. There we go. At that same time, I notice this is a bit too long. Just gonna improve that. Here we go. Look at that baby. That's fine. Screw it. I can just erase a tad there. That's good enough. Let's see how this looks compared to the grin again. Okay, that's actually fine now. I'm going to compare it to kind. Yep. Wait. Okay, I'm going to move in the eyes a little bit. Not the right one, the left one here, this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up 1. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up 1. Perfect. Now let's compare. Compare, contrast. Compare, contrast. Okay. We are okay. We are okay now. No problems whatsoever. Yeah. No, it's a good opinion, honestly. Like looking back on it, if I would make like a big overhaul, maybe I would like look at it. But honestly, at this point, it's like for me, it's just good enough. Like it's not worth going back and changing all the assets that I made for. Sometimes you kind of gotta take your losses with that. That's why the opinions are fair enough. Like I'm not trying to be like everything is 100%. Like I'm not solely an artist on this project. I don't need to like change things out. Okay. Uh, Here we go. Now I think I'm gonna export this. Let's export this baby. Let's see how this looks on the arms again. I'm just gonna lower her head. Not too much, but just enough. Let's compare that to a grin. It's like weird comparing this to my other one there. It's like this feels better than what I've done before, and that's scary. Like I feel like I'm so inconsistently improving, like where things get better, but it makes the previous thing that I drew look worse. Yeah, and before her neck looks like a beanstalk. Yeah, kind of does. Like that's kind of thing with the assets. You kind of want to have like a beanstalk length just to have room, just so you don't, in case you have the neck up higher for a position or something. I don't know. You gotta make room for air. So let me take away the arms. And we are going to export the eye roll. And then I'm going to quickly do the next two things, and then I'm going to be done with the stream. Okay, I got to change that quickly in Atom. Uh, there we go. I roll and I roll. I make it one word in my code. It's easier that way. Yeah, that's perfect progress indeed. Well, it ain't. Yeah, it's not gonna be perfect. No progress is perfect, but yeah, it's good progress at least. Proud of it, and it's all relative to oneself. So don't feel like you have to be on a certain path. All right, now to do annoyed. Annoyed and then focused is gonna be the last one. Focused, I'm probably gonna just go back to the old one that I had, the old head. Change that. So this one needs to change. Oh, I might make this one angry, so knocking two birds out with one stone in this one. So, okay, just gonna adjust this a little bit. A little bit more. Okay, I'm liking this so far. I'm feeling like I'm knocking a bunch of birds out with a bunch of stones. I don't know why I keep knocking birds with stones. I should probably be arrested for this. Yes, those gratuitous laser eyes. Them damn laser eyes, they get me every time. Hmm. Okay, I might adjust the mouth just a little bit because it's a bit droopy for the annoyed expression. Yeah, like for eye roll, it makes more sense. Like you're like, for annoyed, it's like you're more so kind of direct, I guess. I don't know how to English it, so please help. There we go. Now, last but not least, ah, God, I had bad angle. There we go. Talk about an annoyed person. Poor Soma's annoyed as all heck. Alright, I'm just gonna change something quickly here. I'm gonna put focused later on the board. So I'm just gonna finish these two, and then I'll be finishing up the stream. So annoyed. Up you go. So eye roll, annoyed. Eye roll, annoyed. Okay, maybe I should put a little more anger into those eyes. There we go, baby. Adds 2 pixels, makes the whole difference. Export time, baby. Okay, eye roll and annoyed are in. Ah, that's the satisfaction of slamming your keyboard when you're finished. Last but not least, angry. This one's gonna be fun. Oh, this one's gonna be really. What did I just do? There we go. This one's gonna be really fun to do. She's gonna be livid in this one. Absolutely livid. Saying it like Trump. Livid. Hmm. I'm gonna wait to do the pupils later. Oh, this one's gonna be fun. Oh, we're gonna piss people off. This one. Perfect. Absolute rage. Call me Rage Shadows Legends. Fuck, why did I say it like that? Crap. I totally ruined the punchline, and it was a shitty punchline at that. Ah, fuck. Rage Shadow Legends. Here we go. What's next? The eyes. I could see my soul being like completely taken away by this expression. And last but not least, the blue. The blues, Gary. Still dropping. Thank goodness. Just a smudge on the screen. Sorry, I thought I made some mistake. Now to check out the comments. Just before I send it off and save. Why'd you have to say that? Wild frenzied eyes. Oh my goodness. She will stomp on your dick. Like, I don't think you want that. Go walk that pup. Well, let me first export this page, and then I will end the stream and walk that dog. I think I could do yelling as a separate expression, but I haven't come to that yet. Maybe I'll do that in the future. That's a good suggestion. Oh, it's the same person saying things. Soloist. Yeah, I'm not gonna do more than I need to right now. I'm loving this character more and more. Alright, so I'm going to basically end this. Well, I will end the stream here. Unless any of the three viewers want me to keep going later, but probably not. And I probably want to chill for the rest of the night. And by chill, I mean finish the rest of them off stream. So I only have 9 to go. That's actually very doable. I tend to do about 3 to 5 in an hour if they're the same head but changed expressions. So I might do one more new head, and then from there it'll probably just be pretty easy. So yeah, that's it for now. Let me just shrink these. All right, so that's going to be the end of my stream. I am taking down this VN making window. Yeah, and I forgot to do a meme of the week, so the meme of the week is dead now. No, I kid, but anyway, I am done with this stream, and goodbye to Soloist and the other 2 people watching. So that concludes another episode of me just creating my VN. Hopefully it should be out within the next couple of weeks. I've been saying that for the past few weeks now, but at this point I can really say that I'm at a point where I can finally release it once I'm done with this and the menu art, which probably might take me like a full day per each, so 2 days for both arts. So yeah, maybe by the end of this weekend, maybe, or the day after, I will be done with the art, and then I'll probably just go into revisions for the script with a few friends that will help me consult it. And yeah, then things should be ready to package and send off. Oh, and I'll have to make a Patreon on itch.io to put it on. So, that is it for this episode, and until next time, take care, guys. How the hell do I end the stream?